Welcome to the Made in MV podcast, where we invite you in to learn how we do what we do at the Mount Vernon School and why. In the 7th episode, we meet with grade 3 teacher Sarah Wright and 4 students, Vikram, Liam, Penelope, and Gracie, to dive deeper into their inquiry-based learning project, starting with the essential question: how might we discover citizenship through the exploration of communities and civic life? Let's hear more how these students define community and the importance of citizenship. Welcome to the Made in MV podcast. Today, I am so excited to sit down with third grade students and one of the third grade teachers, Miss Sarah Wright, to talk about community and citizenship. I'm Ann Katz, and I am thrilled to welcome everybody to this episode of Made in MV podcast. Welcome. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? Let's start with Mrs. Wright.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Wright. I'm a third grade teacher here at Mount Vernon, and we're so happy that we were invited to come.
Thank you.
I'm Vikram.
Hi, Vikram.
Hi, Miss Kat.
My name is Liam, and I've been here for 4 years.
Hi, Liam.
I'm Penelope.
Hi, Penelope.
And my name's Gracie.
Hi, Gracie. Welcome to all of you. I am very excited to hear what you have to tell us about this wonderful project. Ms. Wright, will you just give us a brief overview of this project that you did with the third grade students?
Absolutely. So our big central question has been, how might we discover citizenship through the exploration of communities and civic life? And this really started with noticing that every morning our students recite the Mount Vernon mission statement and realizing there's a lot of big words that we can unpack and realize, what do those words mean in relation to our school community? And zooming out, what do those words mean even to the communities we belong to and the communities within our country? And so it's been really fun to see how slowly we've understood what this word citizenship means, along with communities, and seeing how we can be leaders in those communities.
And what is the general outcome? What is, if there is one, do you know when you're going in what the outcome, what you expect the students to learn?
Sure. So we typically have a set of learning outcomes we hope to address throughout the project, but the end product is very much unknown. We'll start with an entry event and kind of let it take its course based on student interest, student readiness, and just seeing where their curiosities and their inquiry comes from.
So it sounds like the students play a very large role in the actually creating the journey.
Very much so. And we even did a graph where we asked students to interview other classmates on who has the greatest impact in our school community. And it was interesting because we found out that every teacher said the kids had the greatest impact, realizing that it's the kids for us that makes all of the decisions, where they thought it actually was the adults. So it was an interesting insight to receive.
Well, we're all learning about this. This is great. It's a win-win situation. Everybody's a learner. Vikram, will you tell us a little bit about what your understanding of a community is?
I understand that a community is where people are working together and it's all like civilized. And
What does that mean, civilized?
it's where it's all in control.
Mm-hmm.
It's staying there, kind of. It's gonna keep like that. It's in a good way. So
It's sustainable, so it can stay that way because everybody's working together.
yeah, everybody's working together in a community. They're playing. Some people are working, and it all brings together to make a community. Like, people are picking up trash. The police is making sure people are following the rules. The mayor's on track, and people are having fun. That's what builds up a community.
Thank you, Vikram. That's a very detailed description that helps me understand quite a bit. And Liam, is it possible for someone to belong to more than one community?
Yeah, it is, because if you live in a neighborhood, obviously you have the neighborhood community. And then if you're at a school, you also have the school community. And if you're also like a mayor or like in the government, then you have the government community.
Wow, but you might have a different role in each community, right?
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay. Thank you. Penelope, how do people contribute or participate in community? Vikram told us a little bit and Liam told us a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit more about what people's jobs or responsibilities might be important to maintain a community?
Well, you want to make sure all of your friends and family are safe. And then once you build up those communities, you can move on. Like Liam said, you can be in the government, or like Vikram said, you can be civilized. So you just want to make sure that you're okay before you move on.
Great, thank you. And then what kind of specific jobs do you have to have? Does everybody have the same job, or when Vikram said people work together, what does that mean?
Well, you might have a job like Mr. Wright as a teacher, but you
Mhm.
can also have a job in keeping your community safe and making sure that everything is going just how everyone wants it to do.
So I wonder, would you consider your classroom, your homeroom classroom, a community?
Yes.
And then do people have different responsibilities or different skills that, they take care of something where somebody else might take care of something else as far as maintaining the classroom?
Yeah. Like we just have a class pet and we'd have to take care of it a lot, maybe feed it, and you can also have a class job like door holder and line leader and caboose.
That makes a lot of sense. And it helps, doesn't it? If everybody knows what their job is, then and that's your responsibility, and then that's what you need to focus on. And you can allow the other ones to focus on the other things, right?
Yeah.
Great. And Gracie, what questions did your teachers ask you to help understand the project better?
They asked who do you think is mostly a part of our community? And asked like they asked like can I restart that?
Yeah. Let me say it again. Let me ask you the question again, Gracie. So, Gracie, what kind of questions or projects or activities did you do? Did your teachers help you with to help you understand better what a community is?
They did projects with us to see what who do we think is most a part of our community, and see who helps mostly in our community. And we did this thing where we'd have this paper and we'd ask our classmates to see who we think is in our community, who
Did it help you understand it better when you were able to talk to your classmates about it and your friends about it, to kind of everybody kind of has their own ideas? And did that help?
Yes, it helped a lot so I can see their perspective and what they would like.
That makes a lot of sense. And when you talk to different people and they live different lives, they come up with different perspectives. Thank you, Gracie. Let's go back to Vikram. Vikram, can you tell us about the books you read or any videos you watched or any other resources you used to introduce new ideas about community and civic responsibility?
Yeah, we read a couple of books on Epic, and then we also had a sheet for past and present where we would look up what the people in the past did and what the people in the present did and what they both did.
Can you give us an example?
Yes. So now today, a community helper, they don't ride a bike and throw the mail. They go in a van and put the mail in the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you would ride a bike and throw the mail onto the person's porch. And an example of both is that we both did farming. past and present, we both formed. And then we did a sheet where you would have to guess what the people in the past did by the pictures, and then you would write it down, and then you would search it up and write what they did and what they do today now. What's different from the job today and the past. So we did that, and that's what gave us a good example.
How did that help you understand, having some understanding of the past and what somebody did in the past and what they do in the future? Why is that important?
So we could learn what jobs happened and how it made up a community.
And did anything surprise you? Let's ask Liam. Liam, when you were going through those sheets and you were talking about the past and the present, was there anything that surprised you? Was there anything that was really super interesting to you?
Actually, not really. I mean, they were basically similar, but they like did different things, and they did it with different equipment. That's the only thing that really.
Thank you. And Penelope, since your project isn't finished yet, what is next? What's the next step? What do you know what you'll be doing for to gain further knowledge?
Well, we kind of wrapped up the community unit, and now we're going to move on to the government. And we're kind of starting that today, actually. I don't really know what's going to happen at the end of the day, but I think it's going to be really fun.
So when you go home and you talk about this project to your families, Gracie, how would you describe this whole learning process? Was it interesting? Was it fun? Was it helpful to know?
It was pretty interesting. It was really fun just with my friends asking questions and doing the little sheets that we did. I'd probably say it was fun.
And do you feel you know more about communities now?
Yeah, I know more. I know that there can you can be in multiple communities. I know that I found out that you can have more more jobs and communities. So yeah.
And it sounds like Penelope, it sounds like you had a lot of variety with sheets or talking to friends or learning from your teacher, reading books. And why do you think it's important to have all of those different ways to learn?
Well, at the end of the day, we have station notation, and usually on Monday, our teachers will explain what it's all about, and then usually every 3 weeks, we start a new unit. Our unit now is government, but our teachers would help us get a better understanding and what community means, and now we're going to start government.
Great. Thank you, Penelope. Liam, what is it that you think government is about?
I think government is like with the president there's 3 branches of government: the federal, state, and local. The local is just like the city council and the mayor. The state is more like the people who run courts and stuff like that. And the federal is like the president, vice president, things like that.
Liam, are you going to teach the next unit on government? You sound like you know a lot about it, which is great. That's a good start.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's a lot to learn still, isn't there?
Yeah.
And Vikram, of all the things that you learned about community and the ways that you learned about it through the books or the other resources, what it was your favorite part about this learning process?
My favorite part was, I would say, is when our unit, just now when we were comparing past and present jobs, because it was fun to research what the past was doing at that time and the present was doing and what we were both doing. And I'm really excited to learn about the 3 branches of the government. It should be fun.
And I'm really excited to learn more about what you guys have learned through the government unit. I'm going to come back and ask you what all you learned, and I want to hear about the same journey, same structure. Miss Wright, thank you for sharing these intelligent, creative children with us. What would you say overall was your impression of their ability to absorb this knowledge?
I think at the beginning, when you think about communities, they were able to quickly relate to the communities around them. And then thinking about the communities that they don't belong to, I think it's nice for them to find out more information about those and see what similarities they have. Even if I'm not part of that community, what similarity does that community possibly have? So we're making those connections and bridging those gaps. I think what I was most impressed with as well is the students' ability to adapt to different methods of learning. Yesterday we did a chalk talk. The day before we worked looking at photographs and making observations through those. Another day we'd be looking at Loom or watching a video. Other day we are looking at comprehension questions through different articles. So just seeing their adaptability to different ways of learning information and coming up with all these new questions that really catered to our specific area of focus. And that kind of led to what we worked on the following day, seeing what they were interested in. Like Vikram keeps mentioning with the community helpers, we were always having these conversations as to how old you have to be to even have an influence on your community. And they would always say, you could be any age. Today we were at recess and I was talking to the kids and they were telling me that it's important for them to show that they can be leaders, even if you're in 3rd grade, because younger students and younger children are looking to them to be role models and be leaders, that really any age you could be a leader.
That is amazing. And this is so different from way back when I was learning in school. Who is in your neighborhood? This has such a greater impact and it resonates more. These methods of learning will resonate more with these children and they will really understand the material and be able to apply it as they continue to build their blocks through their learning future. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing project and the outcome. And there's still more to come. So I hope to hear more about it and learn more through the eyes of the children, because there's no greater way to learn. Thank you, Miss Wright. And thank you, Vikram and Liam and Penelope and Gracie. I'm so grateful that you shared your stories with us. And we look forward to seeing you soon and learning more about government. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Made in MV to learn how we do what we do at the Mount Vernon School and why. Join me next time on Made in MV.